The Queen's Gambit became Netflix's most watched limited series ever with 62 million viewers in the first 28 days. Although I used to play chess as well when I was young, I was just a very ordinary player who couldn't even beat my dad's computer running on Windows XP. So instead of chess, today we're going to talk about the psychology of a chess player, and in particular, a psychological condition known as apophenia. If you have already watched up to episode 3 of The Queen's Gambit, you should remember the reporter who interviewed Beth Harmon and boldly suggests that she might be having apophenia, where she can find pattern or meaning where other people don't, or even when there aren't any. Although her main point was that genius and madness often go hand in hand, was Beth really suffering from psychosis? What exactly is apophenia? In general, apophenia refers to our tendency to recognize pattern or meaning in random information, which can either be visual, audio, statistical, or even be a bunch of events. Although it can be a normal human experience, when in extreme, such tendency to recognize patterns can be a symptom of schizophrenia. As chess players, pattern recognition is one of the most important skills necessary to level up your game. According to an article published in Nature, grandmasters learn more than 100,000 patterns, and the ability to recognize patterns is what allows them to find the right move more often and more quickly. Say if the enemy opens with the Queen's Gambit, the pro players can intuitively defend with the Albin counter Gambit. That is because they've already played it countless times, and this pattern is already as brainless to them as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Although the masters can still recognize patterns and play through complex mid-games relatively easily. Is the extraordinary ability to recognize patterns a gift or a curse? In 2014, a biographical film called Pawn Sacrifice featured American chess grandmaster Bobby Fischer. He was like the male version of Beth Harmon, who also challenged against the Russians and ended up being the world champion. However, with the drug or alcohol addiction, Bobby instead suffered from delusional psychosis and became paranoid as he thought people were spying on him. Although Bobby was never formally diagnosed in real life, he did show signs of apophenia as he connected the smallest details in life and recognized them as parts of a bigger plan plotting against him. That is much like the grandmasters trying to look into the smallest details on the chessboard as he thinks 150 moves ahead and trying to anticipate his enemy's attack. But anyway, in the Queen's Gambit, Beth Harmon showed no sign of paranoia, and the only thing psycho about her is probably just her seeing chessboard and pieces on the ceiling. Or this more like a representation of her visualizing the game in her head. Even if she could really see the chess on her ceiling, it should be still hallucination instead of apophenia, because apophenia requires actual sensory stimuli instead of imagining something out of nothing. If you see a cloud and it looks like Godzilla to you, that's apophenia. But if there's no cloud and you still see a Godzilla, that's hallucination. Apophenia has many subtypes. The examples of seeing shapes in clouds is just one called pareidolia, where we see patterns in visual stimuli. Another subtype worth mentioning is the gambler's fallacy. Although it is unrelated to chess, it can greatly affect players in games that involve chance, such as poker or Monopoly. What happens is that the players will believe they can see patterns in the game and use them to predict future outcomes. Say if you're playing roulette in a casino and the ball has already fallen in black 10 times in a row, which side would you bet on next? Black or red? Pause this video and comment below first. But anyway, if you think you've figured it all out, what I want you to know is that you can lose your bank because on August 18th, 1913, at the Monte Carlo Casino in Monaco, the roulette had the ball falling in black 26 times in a row, losing players millions of dollars at a time. That is why the gambler's fallacy is also known as the Monte Carlo fallacy. Although our ability to recognize patterns can help us in a lot of situations, just be careful when we are over-interpreting as we fall into the pitfall of patterns.